All right, so I'm here in my car right now, just hanging out here in this parking lot. About to go ahead and start driving. I wanted to answer another question that I get pretty often, and that is, should I buy a new car to drive with Uber or Lyft? So I feel pretty firmly on this. So this is just on my own experience. Be sure to leave a comment below if you feel otherwise. But I'm going to say no, absolutely not. For one, as far as buying a brand new car, I would probably opt out of that one just because the car itself is already going to lose a lot of value within the first year of owning it if you buy it brand new. So if you're going to buy a newer car for Uber, I would probably recommend at least 1 year or 2 years old, which is still a pretty new car, but not brand spanking new. And then to answer the second part of that question, should you get a new car to drive for Uber, specifically for Uber? And with that, I would probably say no as well. And the reason for that is because if you're going to make an investment, a large investment to drive with Uber, their policies and their prices and the market just changes so often that I feel like it's a little risky. Actually, it's really risky. So let me go ahead and just tell you a little story about when I decided I wanted to be a small-time Uber entrepreneur. So I had a couple of friends that wanted to drive for Uber, but they didn't have a car. So I agreed to let them use one of my cars. And I was going to go out and purchase 2 vehicles. And then in return, I was going to just charge them a monthly fee for a percentage of however much they get paid through Uber. And it worked out great on paper. So I had my friend apply for Uber first before I went out to go buy a car. I just let them put their name on my vehicle, put their name on my insurance, and then once they got approved, then I was going to go and buy another car for them to drive with Uber. So flash forward about a month later, they got through the application process, and then they got approved to drive for Uber. And then I was just about to go and buy a vehicle, and then the prices changed. So when I was driving in San Francisco, from the airport to downtown San Francisco used to be $50 flat rate. And that kind of makes sense when you're driving for Uber. There were a couple of days you can make $600 just going back and forth up to the airport. But funny enough, right after my friend was approved to drive for Uber, then they cut the prices. They slashed the prices. I think it was like 20%. So as I was doing the calculation of should I buy a vehicle or not, the percentage was pretty slim, but I would still be able to get the investment back probably in about 8 or 9 months. But with that 20% cut, that changed the numbers completely. So it just wasn't worth it at all to go out and buy another car. So anyhow, so to make a long story short, that's my experience with buying a new car, or a newer car. Well, the car that I was going to buy was only going to be about $4,000, but that's my experience with thinking about purchasing a vehicle to drive with Uber, and I'm glad that I didn't, because had I purchased that vehicle, let's say 2 weeks earlier, then I would be stuck with the low rates that Uber was paying. So that's why I would probably discourage buying a car just for Uber, because again, their policies could change. Maybe you get kicked off the system for some reason, then you still have that car payment. Or maybe they decide to hire their own Uber drivers and then they quit contracting. Whatever, a million things could happen. Some of them are pretty far-fetched, but they could still potentially happen. And you don't want to be stuck with some crazy, huge car payment and then Uber change their policies, or Uber or Lyft decide to kick you off the system. Who do you think is going to make that car payment? You're still going to have to. And then lastly, if you're going to be buying the car, I would say, and it's going to have multi-use, so maybe you're going to be driving for Uber and Lyft, but also, you need a new car anyways, and this one's going to save you fuel. As long as it matches up with whatever your financial situation is, then it could be a good idea. But for the sole purpose of I'm buying a car just to drive for Uber, I would probably discourage that. And the main reason is just because their policies could change at any moment. anyhow, that's my take on if you should buy a new car for Uber. Be sure to click the description for more information and subscribe for more videos. And if you have experience buying a car to drive for Uber, maybe a good experience, something you recommend, be sure to leave a comment below so that way the rest of us know. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.